It's What's Up, King the Giant Robots, and this is your tactical forecast for June 2023. If you're new here, I welcome you. I am your host, Zappa. This is Axis Communications and Entertainment, otherwise shortened to ACE. And this is the video where we discuss how things are going and how things have gone, and what you should expect for the channel in the coming month. No games were completed in the month of May, but we do have a few new things and a couple of small updates and mysteries to solve as we go forth for this month. That being said, the first thing we start with is the VODs from a stream that I recorded with a coworker slash friend at the early parts of May. We are, as I remember to switch my dang old mouse status, because I'm a genius and I prepare things properly. The first 3 days of this month will be an exploration into the Nintendo 64 disk drive. My coworker owns a disk drive and he brought over some of his collection, the more interesting bits that I was curious about. And we will be checking out 3 games: Doshin the Giant, F-Zero GX, and Polygon Studio, the one of 4 parts of the Mario Paint 64 collection. And I think Polygon Studio was the only one that ever properly came out? I don't recall. There's weird legends and details and information about that one that you can find elsewhere. I was just lucky enough to be able to put the games in my hands. We had some fun with that. But that means we still have a proper schedule for the rest of the month. So, as is tradition, every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at noon Central Standard Time, we will have Super Robot Wars Compact 2 Part 1. And nice and clean at 31 stages, Part 1 will wrap up later this month. And Part 2 will follow and begin immediately the next Monday. So, nothing changes as we go into Compact 2 Part 2, Monday through Thursday at noon Central Standard Time. Now, somewhere in July, perhaps, no, definitely not in July. Somewhere in August, we're going to have to take a big, pull them big handbrakes as I attempt to do what I did back on Compact 3 and engage in a translation strategy guide. So that translation work is going to be hard and hefty and takes a lot of time and testing. So we will have to slow things down when it comes to that. But that means that our game for the weekend, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday at noon Central Standard Time, Super Robot Wars Alpha on the Dreamcast, might take over. Now, currently, as of the day of recording, which is several days before the end of the month, my Dreamcast is out for repair, as it were. I'm tired of having to reset the date every time I turn the console on, and this one weird trick that I had read about that somebody on the internet allegedly claims to have done. They claim to have been able to resuscitate Dreamcast batteries by leaving it on for multiple hours at a time, and in doing that, running a constant long-term charge into the battery will eventually revive the battery. It didn't work, or at least 2 weeks was not long enough of a testing phase to do that. And even if it's just a minor inconvenience, I would rather have my things working. My first Japanese streamcast did not read discs, so fuck that shit. I could have taken to get that one fixed, but then we wouldn't have started the Let's Play on time. Now, again, we come back to the mystery. It is at a local shop getting the battery replaced, but they do not work on retro consoles on the regular. So when I dropped it off, they said it could be anywhere between 1 and 2 weeks. Currently, it's been exactly 1 week. I haven't heard back, and I'm not going to call and harass. Maybe if it's been 2 weeks, I might call back and be like, hey, where am I at in the queue? Do you know how much longer? And effectively, if I do not have the console back or have heard back by today, the day that this video is released, June 1st, I will just go ahead, go grab my roommate's Streamcast, and we'll do some disc swap tech in order to continue our Let's Play. Which, I realize I really didn't talk about either game that I was playing. Alpha Dreamcast has been going well. I'm enjoying seeing all these new attacks in 3D. What I don't remember, and this could be a case of me having just gotten better at the game in general, or the expectation and having the books, I don't remember the stages going as quickly. I've heard some numbers and some damage values had been tweaked into the Dreamcast version. Battleships are stronger. I don't know if that means that they just have inherently buffed numbers. I could get the books out and compare them, honestly. I could see if the Argama, as we get it, has better numbers than the Argama as we get it between the two versions. Interesting. Why didn't I think about that earlier? Huh. But I'm enjoying the game. Stages are going rather quickly. Just to swing back, talk about Compact 2 a little bit. We are presently, at the point that I'm recording, in the last third of the game. And stages are starting to take upward of an hour and a half. And I'm hitting that point where I'm not able to complete the stages in 6 turns as easily. The last couple of stages I've done, one of which required me waiting around and moving the units into position to recruit Ina and Norris, and the one following that, I think things just happened to be so spread out that it was so easy to take things out in an efficient manner. I don't quite recall, but hopefully things will get a little faster. I'm pretty sure that I can get to the end of the game and get the last stages. I forget what the numeric condition for reaching the end of Part 3 was. May well go hit up our favorite wiki and find out immediately. Oh, smart to set things up a little differently. Let's see. Carryover data parts 1 and 2 have under 777 turns. I'm pretty sure I'm very well into that. Although seeing the last stages are a bit weird. Very curious, very weird. Oh well, I'll get more data on that shit when we get there. In other games, Theaterism Final Bar Line is largely in part done. The final episode wherein I clear all the available series quests has been long since recorded. I went ahead and marathon recorded that when I was on vacation in early May. And the only thing left to do is, as they release, I will be revisiting the game to tap at those DLC sets. And from what I read on that last episode, there are a total of 14 planned, and as of recording, the Chrono Trigger just released, and I think that was the 7th or 8th DLC set, and they are coming out every 3 weeks. So, as of when the Chrono Trigger came out, and I look over at the wall at my schedule, when I've released the Chrono Trigger game DLC, that episode is over 2.5 weeks away. And as I'm recording, we're not quite into July yet, so I believe I will hit the next... Oh, I hit the pop filter with my headphones. I will hit the next Theater Rhythm DLC before the Chrono Trigger episode comes out. And so that means that I've accelerated the release of the game on our schedule. Theater Rhythm is straight up every other day. Starting from today at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, it is quite simply every other day at 3 p.m. a new episode of Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line, except it's only Benjamin from Mystic Quest, will release. But that means that I have thrown Theater Rhythm episodes onto the weekends. What of Dragon Force? Well, I too am greatly enjoying Dragon Force, but because I've accelerated the state of Theater Rhythm, I have also chosen to accelerate the state of Dragon Force. Because Theater Rhythm will completely wrap up this month, and later episodes will come as the DLC drops. Dragon Force is now also every other day at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Starting tomorrow at 3 p.m., we will have an episode of Dragon Force, and every other day. Not currently on the weekend status, because I'm really enjoying playing the game for all of its little quirks and sometimes complications, and the upsetting thing of when someone's going to turn on me again. But as I play, as I stream the game, I learn little tips and tricks here and there that help me keep up and learn. I'm repeating the word learn over and over. I have a member of Stream Chat is giving me tips, stuff that is not written in either of these two guides that are on GameFAQs, because they're not so much guides as references of data, and even then they're not complete references of data, so it takes time and experience and probably repeated playthroughs and years of repeated playthroughs and playing on every other campaign to know little things like when certain generals will never join your side based upon what kingdom you're playing from, where events and how events are supposed to trigger as opposed to how they are written to trigger. That being said, I also kind of want to get on to the next game. Not that Dragon Force is bad, but I just want to get through my huge list. And I get this feeling, this weird deep down feeling that maybe I'll be able to finish the game this month, if not next month. But that means that the next roulette, not the big, wild, and crazy let's spin the wheel of 100 games roulette, But the smaller and sweeter Tournament of Indecision has already been laid out. 8 games have been chosen to be on that wheel, at which point if I knew right now when I would be wrapping up Dragon Force, we could spin that wheel. But because I don't, I've taken 8 games, once again, from a list of 100, put them on a wheel, spun them down until 1 game was remaining, and put that on a list, and did so... That's the wrong side of the book. I did so only 6 times. I decided that 1 slot should be dedicated to a game that I want to play next. And so that game is on the list. And another slot was decided for me as friend of the channel Steve, formerly Honky Kong 64, now under the YouTube channel title of Super Retro Theater, I think? Let me get a proper... yeah, Super Retro Theater. He recently rebranded himself, which is, you know, a little bit more professional, I think. I think that's a great decision on his part. It's more in tune with what he is doing, as well as for those of us that have history in the United States, term honky does not have any positive connotation to it. Even if it's just a bastardization and word salad version of donkey, it's better to run by a new name. And so, with all of my rambling and raving aside, let's swing back through the schedule one last time before we call it a day. There are no interesting upcoming incidents or happenings. The Dreamcast is out for repair, and if I don't get that back by July 1st, then I'm going to go ahead and resume recording Alpha Dreamcast through alternate methods. That being grabbing a different Dreamcast in the house. So, for the first 3 days of the month, being Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we are taking a look at the Nintendo 64 DD. Every Monday through Thursday at noon Central Standard Time, we have Robot Wars Compact 2. Until the last week of the month, we will transition immediately into Super Robot Wars Compact 2 Part 2. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at noon Central Standard Time, we have Super Robot Wars Alpha for the Dreamcast. As mentioned, the Dreamcast is currently out for repair, so streams of that are halted until further notice. Every other day, starting from today, at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, we have Dealer Rhythm Final Bar Line, except it's only Benjamin from Mystic Quest. And then, following that, every other day starting tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, Dragon Force. Until both of those games wrap up. Dealer Rhythm will, air quotes, wrap up at the sometime in the middle of the month, and will be revisited until all DLC sets have released. I have yet to finish the game's story mode, getting all those side quests. And I will include that in the next episode that I record. I have a plan for that. Dragon Force goes until it's done. I feel like I could finish it this month. If not, well, it continues into next month. And at the end of Let's Play, we'll spin the wheel when it is appropriate to spin the wheel. If you would like to join me live for chatting and streaming and telling me I'm playing the game wrong and watching me be a scumming skis, you can join me at ACE_Zappa. That is Ace Zappa at twitch.tv, where I stream infrequently up to an hour a day. I will stream the episode that I record, depending on how much free time I have before noon. I also stream a lot more on my days off, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So join me when I'm live. I am not consistent, so hit that follow button. Maybe be nice and subscribe. Throw a couple of dollars in my direction so that I am better incentivized to not have to go to my real job. If I can make this a full-time job, boy howdy, I could get through some Let's Plays a whole lot faster, and we could continue the conquest of all Super Robot Wars. That said, if you want to help me out here on YouTube, I am still sub 500 subscribers. I know I need 1,000 to reach any kind of monetization partnership, but the only way I'm going to get there is through you, the help of the viewer. Hit that like button, comment, I don't know, share it maybe. Sharing is kind of an old gimmick, but sharing, you know, gets more clicks, more views, blah, blah, blah. Because with only you can help me manipulate the YouTube algorithm. The more likes, the more comments, the more views that videos get, largely on the day of release. It tells YouTube that I am creating good and worthwhile content, and I should be pushed harder into the fields of view of other like-minded giant robot and retro video game lovers. If you can, watch the entire video from start to finish. You know, if you want to go back to older Let's Plays and click that like button, drop a comment. If you're new, comment on everything you watch. Like, I respond to just about everything that is said, because I have that kind of time and I can create that kind of close-knit community with my viewers, you the people. It is with your help that I can get noticed and increase number. As again, I kind of repeat this because I ramble and I don't plan these things. Like, comment, watch videos to their completion, even if you put it on your phone while you're doing the dishes or mowing the yard. Kind of treat it like a podcast. That's why I do my best to narrate and voice act, so you don't have to have your eyes on the screen at all times. Hey, mild interjection. Guess who forgot what day Street Fighter 6 came out? I won't make it an official Let's Play, but I will stream to the best of my free time, and I don't know, chunks of story mode will occur at some juncture this month. Now proceed to the ending. Good night, Space Lords.